like your wardrobe has got really frumpy lately? Well, watch till the end. I've got 10 style secrets today that will take 10 years off instantly. So let's get started. I'm going to go through 10 ideas which I use in person and online with clients to help them make the most of their wardrobe and feel vibrant and amazing. This is exactly what I advise them to do. Number one is wearing bright or lighter colours towards your face. This can really lift your complexion. Colour can make a huge difference to how you feel. It can also make a difference if you live in a seasonal climate like I do, particularly if it's a really grey day and there's no kind of colour, it feels like there's no colour in the sky, then you need those bright colours. I would actually say go for brighter colours rather than neutral, muted colours in the winter. So one of the first things I would suggest you do is find out what colours work for you. Now, I know you can do this online if you are on a budget. Have a little look around, have a look on my website, have a look at some of my previous videos. You'll see some videos that I've done on colour, particularly if you've decided to embrace the grey, because that can make a difference as well. See if you can work out which colours work for you best, and then choose colours closest to your face in those colours. Now, one thing that I will say is a lot of people will say to me, oh, I really love black, but I'm told that black doesn't work for me. And that's true, particularly as we age. Sometimes black can become too harsh. A navy blue or maybe a chocolate brown or chocolate grey works better. But if that is you and you do have a lot of black in your wardrobe, don't despair, because some fabrics, particularly if it's like a leather or it's a satin or something that catches the light differently, that could probably still work for you. Or if it's on the bottom half of your body, you can keep it for a while and then gradually replace it once that item wears out. But definitely think about the colours that work for you. I was working with a client very recently in Selfridges, and he just had a colour palette done. And whilst the colour palette he'd had done was correct, he was diagnosed as being a autumn. To me, it's like he was an autumn, but I see it much more defined than that. It was like he was told what house he lives in. If there was 4 houses, he's in spring, summer, autumn or winter. But actually the person didn't tell him what room he was in. So when I do a colour analysis, I do it much more defined to the person. I often end up switching colours out and replacing them colours that I think are better for the individual. So sometimes if you get a colour palette done with me, it won't be called autumn or whatever, it'll be called whatever I decided to call it at the time, but it will be particular to you. Now, if you need help with that, definitely book in for a little chat with me. I'll put the link here and also in the notes. I'd love to meet you anyway, and I can talk to you about how that works. But alternatively, if you are on a budget, definitely look at my previous videos. Take a look at my website at capsuleclosetstylist.com. There's lots of information on colour there as well. So next up is working out what silhouettes work for you. Now, this can be defined as your body type. Like I mentioned earlier, when I do a colour analysis, I'll do a body type guide to go alongside it, because I feel like both of those bits of information together really helps clients make better choices when they're buying clothes. So it can be defined as body types, but it could also be defined as just working out how balance works. So not only do we want colours that enhance our best features and make our skin glow, but also if you know a little bit about your body type and how it works, you can always look and feel better with that as well. Now, some kind of general rules with that is if you wear scoop necks or V-necks, that can often draw the eye down. So if you put on a little bit of weight and you feel like you're going a little bit like this and you want to go like this again, V-necks, long scarves, long jewellery, all that type of thing draws the eye down. So that's one little tip. Another little tip is go for darker matte colours in areas that you're not so comfortable, and brighter, lighter, maybe patterned colours in areas you are. Also add the detail, the frills, the fuss, anything that's going to catch anyone's eye in the area that you are happy with. Keep the area that you're not much more muted and darker and kind of matte. So you're drawing attention to the areas that you feel good about. Now next up, and I think this is a really important one, equally as important as anything else, and that is add quirkiness and personality to anything that you wear. Now, one of the biggest things I see with clients over 50 is that they've kind of lost their personality in what they wear. You know, when we're in our teens, when we're in our 20s, we're kind of excited about clothes. I see it in my own daughter at the moment, and you kind of define who you are. I feel like life gets in the way, whether it's family and work or a combination of the two, and we kind of lose where we're at. So I really want you to define in your clothes your personality and bring that out. And don't be afraid to do that. Do not hide in the background, please. Please work out your personality and have that expressed in your clothes. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can open up a Pinterest board. When I work with private clients, this is what I do. I get them to open up a Pinterest board. If you've not used Pinterest before, I have a video on how to use it, so I'll stick that link in the notes as well. But you can open up a Pinterest board and just pin styles of items that you like. Now, it doesn't have to be what you're necessarily going to go out and buy, but just what you like and what kind of inspires you. I want you to feel inspired. I want you to feel slightly quirky. You know, if you are that sort of person that when you're in your teens and your 20s, you were a little bit quirky, why did you stop? Can we just be a little bit quirky now and feel good about it as well? So yes, add some personality and some quirkiness to your wardrobe too. Do not be afraid to do that. Now, if you are struggling with your wardrobe and it feels a bit frumpy, you feel overwhelmed, you're not the sort of person that enjoys shopping, then definitely download my Capsule wardrobe planner. It's entirely free. It will help you eliminate the fuss. It helps you think about what to keep, what to lose. You fill it out as you go along, and thousands of people have downloaded it already and found it really useful. So I'll put the link to that here and also in the notes. Now, next up is define your waist and your middle. Now, before you scream, oh my God, that's the last thing I want to do is define my waist. I've put on weight around my waist and it feels awful. I understand. And I understand that for some of you that might not work. So what I'm talking about is come in somewhere. So if you do have a little bit of a tummy and you are really conscious about your tummy, come in under the bust. Like this dress comes in under the bust and then it gently flares out over my tummy. This type of style with an empire line that goes straight under the bust works really, really well. It's another thing about knowing what body type you are and knowing how to dress for that body type can make a huge, huge difference. So a V-neck will draw the eye down, a line under here draws you in, so it gives you some shape and definition but still skims your tummy. Now, if you aren't worried about your tummy, pull it in with a belt or something, but just give yourself some shape. One of the biggest mistakes I see when people are feeling frumpy is when they have things that hang straight off their bust and then hang all the way down. You're doing that because you're conscious about your tummy and you want to cover it up. Totally understand. I also think that a lot of brands that cater for plus size women do not help because they produce clothes that predominantly look like tents. I am a massive advocate of fighting against this because it really makes me angry. It's not about covering you up, it's about let's make you feel the best in the body that you're in, rather than, oh, let's just drape you in loads of fabric so you cover your body up, because that's not helping you at all. So yes, definitely coming under the bust if that is you. Gently flare out, if not coming in at the waist, because what we want to do is create a little bit of definition and shape, and that will help. Next up, I mention this all the time, but where possible, go for natural fabrics. Now, there's lots of reasons why I say this. A, it's better for the environment, the way it's produced. If it's 100% a natural fabric, it can be recycled. If it's got a slight bit of polyester or anything else on nylon, it can never be recycled. You need to know that ever. Okay, so for the environmental factor, it is better for your health in terms of the natural fabrics against your skin. Somebody who comments quite frequently, who used to be a scientist, talks a lot on my videos about natural fabrics and how she wears them. And she was telling me, and I didn't know this myself, that apparently a lot of the reason why people become irritated to like polyesters, because people are becoming increasingly irritated to polyesters, is because the fabrics rub against your skin and eventually the fibres embed themselves in your skin and they actually irritate you. So, because they're quite sharp apparently, although they're very small, they're quite sharp. So that in itself should be a reason to choose natural fabrics. In addition, if you're around 50, you might be going through the menopause, so you might be getting hot flushes. That will be a lot better for your skin. And the other thing is, if you're going to look elevated and you want to look elegant and you don't want to look off cheap and like you are wearing something quite frumpy, steering away from polyesters really helps too, because the younger generation are much more conscious of this. And I think to be part of that and actually be dressing in a way which is much more modern, then that is definitely something to think about. Next up is highlight your best features. Now you will know where your best features are. I mentioned this earlier when I said about putting ruffles in places that you feel best about. But if you've got good legs, don't be afraid to show off your legs. If you've got a great cleavage, don't be afraid to show off your cleavage. Do whatever you feel is right for you, and only you will know what that is. But enhance your best features. It could be your wrists, your hands, maybe you've got gorgeous long fingers. Whatever it is, add some beautiful jewellery around that area. You know, whatever it is, but don't be afraid to enhance your best features. Ignore all the ageist rubbish that is out there and the sizist rubbish and the sexist rubbish. Ignore all of it. This is about you and what feels good for you. So please enhance your best features, and also let me know in the comments what you feel is your best feature and what you do to do that. Let's do something really positive here. Tell me what you like best about your body. Please do that in the comments. Let me know what you like best about your body and what you do to enhance that. And if you haven't done recently, what you're now going to do from now on. I'd love to hear from you. Next up is make sure you keep on track a little bit about modern accessories. Now, they can be whatever you define that to be, but keep an eye out on what's trending. I have a video coming up very soon, which is all about the top 5 shoes and boots for this autumn. So take a look at that when that comes out. But have a look around and see what sort of trend. If you need something replacing, think about what you like. Don't go for a trend just because it's a trend. I'll give you an example. I love walking around in trainers. I know people don't agree with that you should wear it with dresses. I like it and I do it. Most of them have always been white, but I was given the opportunity recently to have a pair of trainers sent to me, and I chose bright red. Bright red is a big colour this season for trainers, but yeah, bright red trainers. I like the idea of that because I like the fact that it will add a shot of colour on my feet. I might be wearing charcoal grey or very boring colours in the winter, and I'll have this shot of bright red. So yeah, think about modern colours, cuts and accessories as well. Next up is don't fall back on easy dressing. What do I mean by that? I speak to clients almost on a daily basis that say they feel like they've lost their way. They feel like they just end up wearing sweatpants or yoga pants and loose t-shirts. And I think partly the pandemic and lockdown and all that is partly to blame from this. We're still kind of working our way out of that. We got into this very comfortable dressing. And don't get me wrong, there is always room for comfortable dressing. I was doing a wardrobe edit with a client a few days ago. She had some really lovely wrap cardigans and she was saying, you know, they're not any good for my body shape or my colouring, but I just wear them in the evening when it cools down a little bit and, you know, I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm like, good for you, go for it. There is no reason why you can't have those items. Do not fall into the very easy pattern of wearing that all the time. Let's try and feel good about ourselves and still make a little bit of effort. Just making a little bit of effort will make you look 10 years younger straight away. That is a big part of it, actually feeling good about yourself and feeling like you're presenting yourself in a really comfortable way. So yes, don't fall into easy dressing. Always think about inspiration, look out for people that you like the way they dress. Doesn't matter if they're 40 years younger than you. If you like something that somebody's wearing and you think you can make it work for yourself, then why not try? Now, next up is coordinate where possible. Part of feeling really good about yourself and putting outfits together is coordination. I sometimes say matching accessories together, maybe a belt with a bag or a pair of shoes, but it doesn't have to be just accessories. I had a question asked me quite recently. Someone said to me, you always say about matching belts with shoes, but actually you've matched it to a top this time and it works really well too. So just coordinating your look. It could be that you match a pair of shoes with a top or a jacket or a bag with a pair of shoes. One little tip I will say in coordinating anything is do it unless it is supposed to match, like a suit, a jacket and a pair of trousers or a jacket and a skirt. Unless it's supposed to match. If you're just trying to coordinate, it's just a bright red colour, for example, don't put the two items directly together. If you have a belt that's bright red, a pair of shoes that are bright red, the distance in between will mean it will work. If you put them right together, it will look slightly off. So always have some space between those items you're coordinating. If you are matching to a pattern, always try and match to the actual pattern rather than the background of the pattern. That usually works better as well. Now, last but not least, and this is the most important one, don't give up. Please don't give up. The most aging thing on anybody, whether it's clothes, makeup, hair, whatever it is. And it's not to say that if you've given up wearing makeup, like Pamela Anderson, she looks stunning, she looks absolutely beautiful. If you've been one of those people and you have given up on wearing makeup, absolutely, hat off to you. But the point is, she still looks beautiful. She still wears wonderful dresses and does her hair very interesting and quirky. So what I'm trying to say is, just don't give up, whatever that looks like to you. Whatever feels good to you, do not give up. Please don't hide away. Please don't go beige. It's okay if you wear beige, if you like, wear beige head to toe, but just feel good in it. You know, this is what I'm trying to say. So much of society wants us all to hide away in drab colours, in boxy outfits, and basically blend into the background. And what I'm trying to say to you by this video is that the main thing that will make you look 10 years younger is by ignoring all of that and still being inspired and still adding your personality to your wardrobe. So please promise me, if you take anything away from this video, that is the one thing that you're going to do. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do from this. Let me also know that part of your body that you do like and what you're going to do to enhance it as well. I answer all of my comments. Have a wonderful week wherever you are. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.